Hello friends, welcome to my channel Together with Abhi. In this video, we are going to cover buckets, S3 operations and data consistency. So far, we have understood that S3 is a type of an object storage. Object is the way we represent data within S3. So it is at the lowest level. And this is going to be accessed by REST API. Now it has to be unique across the globe, right? So for better management and organization, we have buckets on top of objects. So in this video, we are going to do CRUD operations and other operations related to objects and buckets. So let's get started. We are back to our AWS management console. As you can see, I'm logged in as my administrator account. The first thing that we need to do is we will go to services, and within storage, we are going to select S3. It is going to bring us to a dashboard which asks us to first create bucket. As I told you, bucket is on top of object. So firstly, we need to create bucket. But one thing to notice is, you see here, it says S3 does not require any region selection. Okay. We do not have any region mapped to it as of now, but a bucket, it would be created within a region. And which region you are going to choose, which makes most sense to you, which is closer to you. Okay. So the region selection is a must for bucket. So let's first create a bucket. First thing we have to do is give it a bucket name. Please note that this name must be unique. So please choose the name wisely. Don't give it some common name which might be rejected. The other thing that we need to notice is it does require a region. As I mentioned earlier, please choose region wisely based on your need. Now, important thing is block all public access. This is about security. We are not going to talk about security in this video because that is a very important topic, and I would be creating a subsequent video which will cover security in detail. But the important thing to notice, there are two levels of security. One is a bucket level, the other is object level. Why is it so? Because there could be a situation wherein an object might be owned by another account and bucket by a different account. Okay, we will come to that. But as of now, if in case you tick the check this checkbox, it is not going to allow any public access to anyone, even if you provide access at the object level. Okay, so that's the important thing to know. So the bucket has been created. Let's click it and see what all we can see here. First tab is overview tab. It is the tab from where you can upload an object, upload a file. The second is properties tab. From this tab, you can provide a different kind of functionalities a bucket can have, like static website hosting, versioning, encryption, see logs, and things like that. The next tab is permissions. This is a very important tab because from here you can play around with the security. As I mentioned, we are going to cover in next video, but there are two things: access control list and bucket policy. These are two mechanisms of security at the bucket level. The next is management. So there are different kind of storage classes. We will cover that as well. But if in case you want to have a management of your data within different storage classes, you can do it from here. So this is done through lifecycle, and there are certain other features as well. Access point is also there, but we will start just creating an object first. I'm going to upload a file first. Let's add a file. I already have created a file with the name RTF file1. RTF stands for rich text format. Let's see if in case you want to check what's the content of this file. We'll just click it and it says text file 1, test file 1, rich text format. Okay, so we are going to upload this file. Now here you see there is another tab called as set permissions. If in case you click next, it will come to permissions tab. It is from here you can manage the security at the object level, but we are going to study about it later. For now, we will just go with the default permissions. You can also set the properties. As I told you, there are multiple kind of storage. Okay, and we can move to different storage levels, but currently we are just going to focus on basic operations. So just create an object. The object has been created. The point to note about object is the object URL. As you can see, the first part create takes the bucket name, and in the end RTF file1 stands for the key. We will talk about key as well. Now let's just open it, and you can see it shows us access denied. Why? Because at the bucket level itself we have denied any kind of public access. So firstly we will have it to open the public access at the bucket level and then at the object level as well. The reason I mentioned to you about this kind of different access is because an object could be owned by a different account and bucket by a different account. Okay, so that's the reason you will have two kind of access. So let's just open it at the object level. Firstly, we go to object level permission settings. So we are at object, and within the permissions down below you can see public access, open it for everyone. We take read object permission, but it doesn't save. Even if we save, it will not save it. You can check it. We go back here and the checkbox has been unchecked automatically. Why is it so? Because it's saying the block public access settings turned on for this bucket prevent granting public access. So we need to do it at the bucket level first. Bucket level permissions are overriding object level permissions. So we come back to bucket. We see that there is block all public access. We will have to edit it. We uncheck it for all the settings, either through ACL or anything. We will have to uncheck it. Important point to note, if in case this is blocked at the bucket level, even if you change settings at object level, it is not going to make any difference. Okay, so now let's get back to our object. So let's go to overview, click on the object. Now there is a make public tab. If I click here make public, I can do changes at two levels. One is make public, or if I go back to permissions where we saw everyone, you see read object has already been clicked. So read object has been clicked to yes. So there are two ways to do it. Either you come to permissions tab or do it directly from make public. Now let's go back to the URL and see if in case it's accessible. So you see the file has been downloaded. Okay, rich text format file, it has been downloaded. So we are able to access it. Now the important thing to note is it is getting downloaded. Why? Because if you go to properties within the object metadata, it says the content type is RTF. So for RTF, PDF, doc, all these gets downloaded. But if in case you want to show the actual content on the browser, we will have to make it plain text. So now I have converted the file from RTF to TXT format. Okay. Now let's try to upload this new file which is of text format. So we go to upload, we add the file. The file is rtf-file1.txt. Note, this is a txt file. Now if we go and check this, we upload this file, we change the permissions at the bucket level. The permissions are already set for all the objects. Let's make it public at the object level, and then we go back to the URL and we can see that we can easily read it within the browser. Okay, so depending on the content type, your file either gets downloaded or is shown directly in the browser. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to update this file. Okay, so we go back. Firstly, let me just update my file locally. So let's find my file first. We'll go and update this file. So this is a normal text file now. So I'm just going to update its content. Let's write normal format file and just save it and upload it. Okay, so let's just save it and we are going to upload this file. So we are just going to overwrite the content that it already held. The file has been uploaded. Important thing to note here is we will have to make it public again. So if in case you open it, it again throws you access denied. So every time, every version, you will have to make it public. And now the file is accessible, right? Now let's get started to create versions of this file. So I told you the versioning is the functionality at the bucket level. So we will have to go to the properties tab at the bucket level, and there we have versioning which can be enabled. Before we enable versioning, please note that this object has just one version as of now. Now we go back to the bucket properties versioning and we enable the versioning, okay, at the bucket level. So the version has been enabled. Now let's create another version, and you see there is this hide and show, this new tab which is visible. You will get to understand its use later, but before that, firstly let's create another version of the file. Before doing that, let's create a local override change. Instead of normal format file, we write version 2. Let's save this file, upload this file. and the file, let's add this file, and the file has been uploaded. We are not going to make any changes related to this. The file has been uploaded. We will, as you can see now, within show, it shows me another version. Please note the versions which existed earlier, their version IDs is null, but for the new version uploaded, there is a proper version ID, which can be even seen in the object URL in the query parameter. Version ID equal to a version ID has been provided for this version of the object. Again, it will throw access denied. We will have to make it public, and now the file is accessible. You can see it is version 2. Okay. So the important thing to note was once the versioning has been enabled, you can see different versions and a new version ID has been provided, and which you can see from this tab or a toggle button. Okay. If you go back again to this latest, so the latest has been mapped or tagged to the latest version. Okay. So the latest URL or the object URL which doesn't have a version ID will map it to the latest version uploaded so far. Now let's go and delete both of these files. Okay, we are just going to delete it because we have to complete the CRUD operations. We delete these two files. Please note that the versioning is enabled. Now if in case we want to restore the versions or past versions, how can we do that? Okay, so for that we will click on show, and here you can see we have versions. But the important thing to note is for May 9, here it has just created a delete marker. The files have not been deleted, just a marker has been placed on the version that this file has been deleted. So the file, if the versioning is enabled, had versioning not been enabled, the dashboard would not have shown things like this. Okay, it is just because versioning is enabled. If you delete, it just places a delete marker. But to restore this file, we will have to re-upload the same file again. Okay, it's not that you can restore the version. For restoring, you just have to re-upload the same file. So we have re-uploaded the same file. Okay, and if in case we go back and see, we will have to make it public as usual, and we can access the file. So the file is available to us. Even after being deleted, we are able to re-upload it. But the thing to note is the same file, 42-byte file, 42-byte in the latest version after the delete marker, and before that as well, we have been able to restore it by overriding the content. Okay, so this completes our CRUD operations. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to delete this bucket. Okay, so let's go and delete this bucket. Now you see it throws an error. The bucket is not empty. So before deleting a bucket, the most important thing is all objects within it needs to be deleted. So either we can go and quickly delete all the objects, or we can just click here and there is an empty button. So if you click empty button, it will ask you to confirm deletion. Type the name of the bucket. You give the name of the bucket. It is going to delete all the objects within the bucket. So it is going to empty the bucket. Without emptying the bucket, you cannot delete the bucket. Okay, so let's empty it, and now once the empty functionality has been successful, we can delete the object, delete the bucket, sorry. And for again deleting the bucket, we would need to give the name of the bucket as a confirmation. So we give that, and the bucket should be deleted now. So it has been deleted. That completes our operation for today. Now let's get back to the important points. Okay, the things that we need to understand: buckets is for management and organization. It has to be unique and it has to be tagged to some region. By default, 100 buckets can be provided in each account. Okay. The second important thing to discuss about is objects. So let's get back to objects. Within objects, the important thing to note is each object can be up to 5 terabyte in size, but it has a flat structure. So you see here we have a bucket name. In the end, we have the key, which is rtf_file1.txt. We can have folders. Within buckets, there was a mechanism to create a folder. So you could have created a folder, but that doesn't change the key. The key now gets changed to files rtf_file1.txt. So in essence, S3 maintains a flat structure. It is just for you, for easy management, that it has provided you folders, but the storage happens like a flat structure. The third thing to note is durability and availability. Durability is because they are doing data replication. So 99 point, this is like 11 nines percentage, and availability, you have 99.99% availability of data at any point of time. Very important, significant thing for AWS. Finally, let's talk about the consistency. So there is, if in case you create new objects, just after creation of the object, you can read the object in a proper manner. The data would be correct. So we say read after write consistency. But if in case you update an existing object or delete an object, you might see stale data. You might see old data for some time, because data replication across multiple nodes takes some time. That's why it is called as eventual consistency. So guys, that's all for today. I hope you like this video. In the subsequent video, we are going to cover more operations and more security features, which is very important. But if you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel together with Abhi. Thank you for your time. Thanks.